Hey all, so this is the Uprooted Kingdom event. This is a Fire Commander event and Beast Killer. So I have the event ultimate form. I've made up quite a few decks. I am finding though, I'm getting more damage out of a non-event deck just because of the Pink Stars and Awakening. So currently I've set up teams using Heretic Hunters rather than the event ultimate form. But let's go over to the first team here. I'll talk through what I have. The first card is Arcane Masters. Increases Fire Commander damage by 175%. Creates a few power gems as well. Avenging Furies. Gives the next Fire Commander to use their battle skill a 200% damage buff. Can be used to boost up itself as well, since the battle skill can be used twice per cooldown. The event ultimate form, Fireborn Flora. This has a really nice boost to self-damage. Also has that Dispel and Cleanse skill on the card. Also cannot be silenced. You're going to need to put Awakening on the card and Pink Stars if you can get it. That will help increase the damage significantly. Prime Time Pros. This is an ambush card. 320% Fire Commander damage when ambushing, otherwise 220%. Then finally, Sentries of the Sands. This upgrades all the power gems, plus increases Fire Commander damage, plus has a cleanse as well, which is quite useful, and a passive that creates power gems. This is the card you want to use when there's the maximum amount of power gems on the board, so it upgrades them all. Then for the relics, the first relic here, this is a chaotic relic. Quite a few pink stars on that, may I add, making it a good one to have on the team. Then a beast relic here, help breaks the shields. Another relic here, that's just an arcane one, an older one. Then at the end I have two of these generic beast shield breaker relics that both break 3 shields each. This is so I can potentially use the team on the early level ultimates. Then on to the next team. This is a slight variant of the first team. It has 2 big damage boosting cards, plus Heretic Hunters as the hitting card. In testing though, it wasn't doing as much damage as the team over here, so I probably will be using the fourth team. I'll talk through this one anyway. So this card, Terror of the Turf, it has that ambush skill again, increasing Fire Commander damage by 320%, but it doesn't create any power gems unfortunately. It does have the revive though. Basically I was trying to boost up the damage a bit further by having 2 of the cards with the 320%, but it doesn't seem that effective. Then we have Avenging Furies again. Boosts up 200% damage to itself or another card. Heretic Hunters. This is 275% increase to self-damage, so nowhere near as high as the event ultimate form, but it is Beast Killer, plus it is still a pretty decent card, so it's worth testing if you don't have the event ultimate form. Then Primetime Pros. Increases Fire Commander damage by 220%. Has that ambush skill. That gives it 320%. And then finally, Sentries of the Sands again. 275% increase to Fire Commander damage. Plus the upgrade skill as well. The relics are the same as the previous team, so let's move on to this team here. It's just about breaking as many shields as possible on the ultimates. I'll talk through the team itself on the next team since it's exactly the same, just with different relics. This relic breaks the 5 shields, then another 5, 10 in total so far, 14, then we have this one here, 17, 22, then 25. So this team breaks 25 shields on the ultimates. Then the final team over here, this is the one I will be using for now anyway, unless I can make the event ultimate form a bit more powerful. We have Arcane Masters again with the 175% damage buff. Avenging Furies again, the 200% damage buff can be used on itself or another card. Heretic Hunters, the nice 275% increase to self-damage, plus the conversion and upgrade skill. Primetime Pros with the ambush skill for 320%, otherwise 220%. Then Sentries of the Sands increases Fire Commander damage by 275%, plus has that upgrade skill. So these are the teams I have available for this event. Bear in mind the event ultimate form does have that skill that cleanses and removes an enemy debuff. Even if the damage might be a bit lower, it could still be incredibly useful. Now let's get on with the actual event. Here we go. Alright, so here's the actual event. What I'm going to be doing here is testing out the event deck versus a non-event deck and see which I can get the most damage with. I will start with a deck that uses the event ultimate form, the Fire Commander deck you can see here. See how much damage that does. Then try the non-event deck. Then make up something else probably, depending on which deck is doing the most damage. Right, so here we go. I think the best way to use this deck is probably something like 2-3-4-5-1. Not sure, I haven't done that much testing so far. Let's try that though and see what sort of damage I can do here. So something like this, and then... yeah, that's not a bad grid at all. There's 4 power gems loose from the main match, so the damage should be pretty decent on this deck. Keep an eye on the middle card. 202.5Q, that's pretty decent actually. Right, I don't think I'll be doing more damage than that with this deck. That was a really good hit. I'll just let the enemy hit me. It's hit me with Zombie. That's taken off quite a bit of health, but there is a revive with this team, though, as you can see here. So one more hit, then quit out, I think. Ah, yeah, I'm taking quite a bit of damage now. Zombie has been removed. Well, it's still on one of the cards anyway. I don't think this is the best activation order. Wanted to try something different, and that's not bad, though. That's not bad at all. Let's try and hit. See how much damage this does. So 155.2Q this time around. Okay, let's quit out and move on to the non-event deck. Right, here we go. So, bigger Awakening, bigger Pink Stars, but lower boost overall compared to the event ultimate form. This should be interesting. Right, so here we go. I think 2-3-4-5-1 is probably the best activation order. The final card here, though, only upgrades the power gems, so I think it's best to use that when there's the maximum amount of power gems on the board. Something like this is probably ideal. Then with a bit of luck, yeah, that's not a bad board at all. That should be a fair comparison. Well, maybe. It needs to do around 200Q. 226, so that's looking slightly better than the event deck, but bear in mind the Awakening and Pink Stars, the event deck would be better if I could get the same Awakening, same Pink Stars on it. So let's try this as my final team to test. 2 boosts that are really good on the very first turn. Not so many power gems though, so not sure how much damage this will do. Right, so here we go. I think just left to right with this team. Should get 320% times 2 with the ambush cards. Here's the first one, 320 and a 320 here. Let's try this anyway, see how much damage I can do. Hopefully it will be pretty decent, but I think it's all going to crush together after this turn, and there's not really any way I can avoid that happening, as far as I know anyway. Let's see the damage though. 118.3, so I think I will just stick to the previous team, to be honest, as this doesn't seem to be doing that much damage. I know the grid wasn't that good, but there's not that many power gems either. So that gives me a rough idea of what I will be using for the event anyway. I think I can quit out at this point. So what I'll be using is probably the team over here to start with, and then if I can get some more awakening on the event ultimate form, it should do a lot more damage. Currently though, it's not doing as much damage as a non-event team. It needs more pink stars, more awakening on the event ultimate form. Anyway, I think we're done with the team testing. Alright, so we do have this bosses feature this time around. I think there was a mention of a new Cudgel in the newsfeed as well. Most of you would have seen this before. Here's the store anyway. You kill the bosses, then you can buy stuff from the store with your rewards you get. There's some new items here as well for the new Cudgels, so this is definitely a bit more interesting than usual. I will go ahead and defeat the boss you can see here. These are normally pretty easy, but they do sometimes spawn in off colours, so be aware of that. You should be able to take them down though if you're working together. Should be nice and easy to start with though. This is only a level 2 boss, so shouldn't be any problems in defeating this with a bit of luck anyway. Right, so just a straightforward left to right team like this. There we go. Not the best activation order, may I add, but just want to take down the boss nice and quickly. There we go. 14.5 Q on the event ultimate form. Get one of those trophies. Claim that. So there we go, nice and easy, a pretty straightforward feature. You do also have these boosts you can buy with gems if you want to as well. Right, and let's go ahead and claim the event collection. It's a good one this time around. We have those lovely runes for your GVG relic. In my opinion, this is the best collection in the game. Let's go ahead and claim all of this. There we go. Very nice. It's always fun to see if I'm able to upgrade my GVG relic after the runes that I have obtained. Not looking too bad. I think I've seen a few duplicates though. I'll go and check this out and see what I can do with the relic. Right, so here we go, over to the legend relic. Fire. And there we go, I can't upgrade it. But I can make a 4-star version and a 5-star version. That's a bit unlucky with the runes. The rune I need is the one over here, the circular one. Never mind, that's still okay, just from the 3-star version of the relic that I got from the rewards. Let's back out of here. Alright, so back over to here. Let's see what it is this time around. Over to the Leagues page. Okay, it's an Earth Vanguard. Phalades Doom Spore. I think I said that wrong. Increases self-damage on a Vanguard. That's kind of interesting. Relentless Slumber in position 1. Now that could be really good actually. So this is looking like quite an interesting Vanguard. An Earth Fire or Earth Water mix could be really useful with this Vanguard in position 1. Or even a Rainbow Defense. That would be ideal. Right, and let's go ahead and claim the random 6-star hero. This is always fun. I can also add an extra pink star to this deck if I wanted to. You can see here. I may do that with the Light Slayer ultimate form though, as my Light Slayer cards are pretty weak if I'm being honest. Right, let's take the support hero up to 6 stars. So if this gives me the main event hero, I may take this one up to 2 pink stars. That will allow me to get the shiny as well. Let's see what happens. Okay, I think that was the main hero as well, so that's giving me an interesting decision. Anyway, let's have another look at the event ultimate form. Fireborn Flora. So, you've all seen increases self-damage by 500% for 3 turns, dispels and cleanses, but doesn't create many power gems, so it could be quite a difficult deck to use for that reason. And there's not that much else on the card either, so you're going to need to awaken and possibly add pink stars to this to make it effective. Not an easy deck to use, but potentially this could be really good. Plus, it's one of those unstoppable cards. Can't be silenced. Since it is a hitting card though, there's not much point in getting just half of the deck. If you have season choice coins available like I do, getting half of this deck won't help you too much. You need to get both halves of the deck. And what I'm going to do now is have a look through the decks from the season and talk through which ones I think are from best to worst. So this is going to be quite tough and you may not agree with my order, but I think the best deck from the season is actually the Earth Commander deck. Now Earth has needed a card that gives a big boost to another card for a long time, and this deck delivers on that with that 500% damage buff to the next card or next Earth Commander card that activates their battle skill. Plus there's also power gems and a cleanse on the card. So I would say this is the best card from the season. The one to get if you have leftover coins. I'm putting Light as my second favourite deck. This seems to create a lot of power gems. Plus increases self-damage, you can see here. 500% plus a revive as well. So I think this is a really good deck and probably one of the decks I'll go for if I had the coins remaining. I think I'll put Dark as my third pick, even though I would say Dark and Water are pretty much the same sort of level. Here's the deck. See here, 315% for all Dark Slayer cards. Creates power gems as well, plus has that upgrade skill. So again, a very strong deck. Lots of abilities on the deck. That's what I'm putting third anyway. Then for my fourth pick, it's the Water deck. Here it is, Punishing Pathfinders. Increases Water Commander damage by 220%, Ambush for 320%, plus a revive. You can see here, plus creates a few power gems. Well, not a few, it's actually quite a lot, 18 on the Ambush. So again, it's actually a pretty good deck. Just compared to the other decks, I have to put this fourth, I think. Then finally, the Fire Commander deck. I think the main thing about this deck is it simply doesn't create enough power gems for my liking. It only creates 6 at the start of each turn on the passive, plus 3 turn cooldown as well. I know it has that Dispel and Cleanse, but I think this is the weakest deck from the season. It's still not a bad deck, may I add, but compared to the other decks, it kind of falls a bit short in my opinion. And there we go, I'm going to end the video at this point. I hope you found that interesting and enjoyable. I am going to go ahead and put an extra pink star on the Light Slayer deck, I think. I know I could get the shiny from the Fire Commander deck, but I can't really see myself using that deck that much, if I'm being honest. Plus my other Light Slayer cards are really poor, so I think that will benefit me the most. If you did enjoy this video, please do give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Subscribing is always very much appreciated. I've included the previous video on the screen, plus a playlist Plus you can also subscribe from here if you want to do so. And thanks for watching.